The best people to help others are not those who studied life in a book. It is those who lived it on the stage of reality. You will never be healed until you use your pain to heal others. Look at Jesus. He healed our pain because of his pain. And that's why it's written, he was wounded for our transgressions. Someone out there needs to know your recipe for survival. Ministry gives purpose to pain. Our guest today, Pastor Kayode Williams, had to go through pain, which has become his ministry, in which he's using it to heal others. Well, you'll get to hear what he says to us, and that's if you don't go away. Pastor Kayode Williams, it's wonderful to have you on our set today. I watch your program, Another Opportunity. What gave birth to that program?
Well, I will first of all say, all glory should be unto the King of Glory.
Amen.
The omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent God. It's a program that comes out of the divine invitation. God invited me when I was nobody. God decided to say, well, Kayode, I want to make use of you. And that was in the prison several years ago.
What happened that you went to prison?
It's a long story. It's a very, very long story. But it has a beginning.
Yes.
And the beginning is that, when one in life is to pass through some things, whether you are protected or not by your parents, definitely destiny will have its way. But unfortunately for me, it was a rough one. I went into armed robbery. Straight off from my teenage age, I was involved in professional armed robbery with people like Dr. Ishola Oyenusi, late Dr. Ishola Oyenusi, Babatunde Folorunsho, all those early armed robbers. That was in the early 70s, immediately after the Civil War. So you can see that it's a long story.
Looking back today, what would you say? Was it lack of parental care? Was it a desire to get rich quickly? Was it, looking back today, what would you say? At that point, what was your life like? Were your parents rich, middle class? What was it?
Well, I wouldn't say it was lack of parental care. I was a victim of circumstances. The circumstances that led me into becoming a criminal was my own carelessness. I met this group of people and they just asked me to go. They sent me on an errand. Please buy me a packet of pencil and edges. And you know, in Yoruba land, there is this manner, courtesy. You respect your elders.
Yes.
Without querying the authority.
Yes.
So buy me a packet of pencil, and I was given a £5 then. So I bought a packet of pencil and edges for 2 shillings 6 pence, and I brought a change of £4 17 and 6 pence, and they asked me to take the whole change away. And you know, £4 17 and 6 pence.
That's big money.
It's a lot of money. It's very huge. In fact, you can buy a landed property then out of that £4. But the greatest mistake I made was that I refused to allow my mother to be aware that I was with such
money.
an amount of money. I kept it because I don't know how I can explain that I bought a packet of cigarettes and somebody gave me £4, 17 and 6 pence. That was the greatest mistake.
So what happened after that?
Well, that's what led into it, because the second day I have to come back to these people.
Because you received the kind of money you never thought.
Exactly, to say thank you for what you did yesterday.
Yes.
And they asked me to sit down. They are gentlemen, they don't look like...
Armed robbers?
Yes, they don't look... It's not written boldly in their faces that they are armed robbers. They were well dressed, gorgeously dressed. So they asked me to sit down. And I was a young boy, I was a teenager, a boy of 16, 17.
Yes.
I was in the secondary school. And I sat down. They started smoking. And they were passing it. And it came to my turn.
And what did you do?
Rejected it. So not to behave as if to say I'm a fool among them, I took it. That was the beginning of the sorrow of my life. I took it, I smoked it. It was only one draw, one bay, and it got everywhere. Before I know what was happening, I could not adjust my sitting. I was having problems. I was uncomfortable. I wanted to shout because something was telling me, shout, make noise. And nobody was making noise. So I believe if I shout, they will thought I'm mad. So I kept quiet. But I wanted to leave the place. But nobody's getting out of the place. Until I think about 30, 40 minutes, somebody left. So I followed that person. On getting home, because I have a parent, particularly my mother.
Yes.
Though my father is a polygamous man who careless.
Other children.
But that does not affect me because, you know, our mothers in those days,
they took care of their children.
And she has means of livelihood. She's not just a woman that depends on
her husband.
From the husband. She has a big shop in Bagi. My mother's shop is the third shop to Mrs. Awolowo, Mrs. Ogedengbe. So I'm not from such a family that you think...
so it's not like it's luck that drove you into it.
It's
just the company that you kept.
Even not I went myself. It is not a peer group.
Yes.
I was going on my own. They just beckoned on me, help us to buy a packet of pence and inches.
And then what was the so how did the armed robbery part start? And
it's
you associated
thing.
Yes.
You see, I came back to thank them. They asked me to sit down.
Yes.
After sitting down, they gave me a smoke, and I never knew it was in their hand. So when I smoked and I left, I went back home. My mother screamed when she saw me coming,
Yes.
because she's a sort of woman that she's very close to her children, and she suspects every move. So she saw my eyes ball has changed, and she challenged me. But because I had wanted to make some noise, I couldn't make it there.
Yes.
Now that my mother is challenging me,
there was an opportunity.
I started shouting. I started screaming. So people started gathering. They couldn't understand what was going on. I was a student then in Hope Grammar School, Ibadan. So when my mother had me shouting, she was disturbed. Then my senior sister came in, and people gathered, and they took me inside. That was the beginning. So when I got inside, I was a bit controlled.
Yes.
That I should not go haywire. This next day again, I went back to challenge them.
So ask them what they gave you.
Why did you do this? I thought I saw you people as gentlemen. They said, shut up. When you smoke such a thing once, instead of you leaving, you take another day, so that it will settle you down.
So you took another one.
So I started. That is the beginning. Then from there, I started coming on my own to take it. And later I saw them one day, they were washing UTC, cutlass, they were washing off blood. I think they use it for operation, I don't know. But I saw them cleaning and doing their rifles, they were trying to, so I couldn't get up. It's not easy because when you enter into such a circle,
and you have seen what they are doing,
you just don't retreat.
Yes.
You just have to stay with them. So I couldn't retreat. So I sat down, and after they washed the stained cutlasses and they repaired the rifles, they brought out some money. It was about 10,000 pounds then. But it has been, I thought when they were trying to open the safe where they robbed, they did not have the key to the safe, so they used gun. So the bullet pierced some of the notes. So those notes, they don't want to take it away. So they gave it to me to go and change it as an innocent young man.
So you went to change
So I
it.
went. And unfortunately, you know, Satan is a fashion designer. He
I like that.
Satan sat somewhere. He has programmed things to disorganize any human being.
But God is always there. Your past cannot be fixed, but you can be reborn.
Exactly.
Your mistakes cannot be fixed, but you can be made anew.
Yes.
And Satan planned all this.
He did.
And God had it on his own purpose.
Oh.
So when you went to change the notes, what happened?
Yes, there is a man living together with us in the same compound. He works in the bank. So I went, that's why I said he has designed it. So I told that man, I have some money with me. He said, what happens? So I said, no, I don't want to tell him that it's bullet.
Yes.
So he said, okay, I will help you. He took the money. He came back with 6,000. He said, where he changed it, they have taken those ones that they cannot be changed. And I brought the money back to them.
Didn't they question you about the remaining of
They did. They said, why did I allow it? I said, well, I don't know. They know I'm innocent. They know. I was very young, 16, 17 years old.
Can you tell us your first experience when they invited you to join them to go for robbery?
They did not invite me.
Okay, you followed them. Okay.
You see, there's no need of invitation.
Because you're already part of them.
It's a gradual process. They won't force you. They know. They don't force people into becoming armed robbers.
They just lure you by...
They will lure you. You will be tricked. They will show you money. They show you how to spend it. So it is gradually you will now become
part of them.
It's a gradual process.
Can you recount the first armed robbery operation you joined them?
Well, it's a long time. That's why I say I was arrested in 1973.
How old were you then?
I was 18. 73.
What led to the arrest?
Robbery. We robbed. So I'm trying to look at to remember the exact first one.
Okay.
Because you know, you won't go for because they are professionals. They are not they are not snatchers. They are different because there is difference between a snatcher and a full-time armed robber. A full-time armed robber,
yes,
skilled in the act of professional robbery,
yes,
will not snatch bags. And they don't just go out.
They sit down
They sit down, they have well-organized
plan.
And they have their informants. They have people that work together with them. Police, people working in the bank. So it's not just something you do anyhow.
Just get up to go
No. It is well planned. So that is why it's different. You need some training. So the first type of operation you will go to is not going to be an open robbery operation. You have to test your skill. Whether you can run very well, you can handle situation. They want to know the type of how intelligent you are.
And what part that you can play, the
roles.
skill they can give you.
So that's why it's not just, it is different from boys going from one street to the other.
Robbing.
They don't rob, they snatch.
Ministry gives purpose to pain. Those who heal others are not just those who studied life in a book. It is those who lived it out on the stage of reality. Pastor Kayode.
Yeah.
Now that you had gotten into the group and you had known, so in what part of the operation, you were young, so what part of the operation now did they say you could get involved?
After a lot of association with them, it is your ability and tactics that will prove your role. They are not going to say, this is your role.
Yes.
It is when you people
when you have proved yourself.
Yes, you have to prove it there. They are not going to say, okay, when you get, because the operation you are going for, they don't know what they are going to meet there. Robbery is not like You don't plan it like something. It's
So I want to go
different.
to market and buy
No,
something.
it's different. It is when you get to the operation that operation will dictate the pace of actions. It's not.
So how were you arrested?
It was later after we robbed so many banks. It was a lot of, because we specializes on bank robbery.
Yes.
So, but one day a lady came, a lady girlfriend, and told us somebody came from the Far East with trailers of electronics. And the lady just wants to use us. The lady is a girlfriend to the man. The evil man is buying electronics and he's taking it from Adibowale Electronics those days.
Yes.
He was taking them back to the east. So the lady said the trailer is well loaded with electronics and that the man is having a lot of money with him and we should come to
Give
our
you the
house. She gave us the time. So it wasn't a planned operation. It was just, let us just go and take up the man. So we took him, we met him right there in the house. We collected all this money, took the trailer back away from him. We drove the trailer. There is a place in Ibadan. It's called Golf Course. Very close to race course in Ibadan. The place is a field, very close to 3rd Battalion then. So we used that field to discharge. We took him there with the trailer, then we locked him up in a kiosk, pretending that we are in the army barracks. So we took the trailer to Sabo, where I was at the group.
Yes.
It's a wait and get business. So they paid for all the goods, and we collected the money. But one of us was unfortunate. He was arrested, and he made mention of that. And that is why I was arrested, tried by the Western State Armed Robbery and Firearms Tribunal. The man was saying we came, in fact, that operation, we did not even go with gun. We only go there, we arrested him that we want him to show us the documents of all the electronics. So the man was disturbed, couldn't understand what was happening. And we locked him up. We locked the trailer driver, we locked all of them up. But later we were arrested through one of us who went and fumbled. And that is how I was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. And while I was in the prison, the process of my imprisonment was so, because my mother was following me up. I told you, my mother, she's so sensitive, and she's a Christian.
Yes.
Christian of those days. Born again and spirit-filled. She doesn't believe, she's highly committed to God. So she followed it up. Even when I was arrested, she came to the police station. And when I was sentenced, she was by my side.
When the judge pronounced 10 years imprisonment, how did you feel? When the judge pronounced 10 years imprisonment, how did you feel?
You see, I wasn't expecting 10 years. I was expecting him to sentence me to death. Because I know then anybody arrested for armed robbery will be sentenced to death. But when the judge was pronounced, it was a prophetical message. Justice Olufemi Odunlami is still alive. Justice Olufemi Odunlami. He said, you are hereby sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Maybe by the time you come out, you will be a changed person. So it was a prophetical utterance.
So how many years did you end up spending in jail?
When they said 10 years, 10 years does not mean the real 10 years.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a remission.
Okay.
Remission is, you are going to serve 3/4 of the sentence.
Okay.
So that means 6 years, 4 months.
So how many did you serve?
I serve all the terms.
6 years, 4 months.
That's 6 years, 4 months means 10 years by law.
So what happened to you in jail now, in prison?
Well, in prison, it's not easy passing through Nigerian prison because there's a lot of things you pass through. I passed through a turbulent time in my life. Imprisonment, though that does not change me because I was still planning that when I come out,
you go back to...
Oh my God, because we have a lot of hard boys.
That you now mingled with.
We have all things you see them doing in the open world is done there. So the only difference there is that your liberty has been withheld. But all other things, smoking, drinking, connections, talking to. So we are planning that by the time, but all of a sudden, I was transferred from Agodi prison, in fact, to Sokoto prison. And right at Sokoto, I was confined in a solitary confinement, separated from other inmates.
God was waiting for you.
And right in the solitary confinement, naturally, I don't have to be praying again, because I believe, what am I praying for? Because most of the pastors that we met outside, while we were in crime, we know what they did. We go to them for prayers, we gave them our guns, they will have night vigils over our guns and so on. So
they will have night vigils over your guns? Yes,
they pray over the guns, because before we go for operation, they ask us to come for 7 days fasting and prayer before we go for operation. So who are the pastors? So
when you now finish the robbery, having done night vigil over the guns, when you finally rob and it's successful, do you give them money?
Definitely, we have to bring out the tithes. You will be instructed, they will tell you what to do. And because they are praying for you, you have to give the tithe. Besides the tithe, you also come for Thanksgiving and celebration of different type of programs they have in the church. So how do you want to tell me that I should now go to church again in the prison, knowing fully well that part of the people that assisted us are pastors? So that makes me not to be praying at all. Until that fateful day, while I was in the solitary confinement. And when I mean solitary, that is prison inside prison. I was not allowed to walk with other prisoners. So I was in a solitary confinement. And a boy came, a prisoner, and he started pleading with a pamphlet. He brought a book about, he said, from Christ Ambassador Evangelistic Team, that Kayode, please take this one. You have to read it so that your life will change. My life will change for what? So you want me to become what? Don't forget that when I say solitary confinement, I've passed through so many problems right inside that cell. Because there was a time I was chained down like, under monkey chain, what they call monkey chain. They will put handcuff in the hand, put leg iron in the leg, then hook it with another handcuff to the leg.
So how would you sit? You wouldn't lie down?
Do they want you to sit? They are telling you are wrong and you have to be punished for that.
Those kinds of punishments, are they meant to change you?
No, that's dehumanization. You make that person to become more hardened. Because all I will be thinking is how to remove that handcuff. That does not even change anybody. By the time you spend 12, 15, 16, 18 days, a month on monkey chain, then you think of what to do next. So we have to know, be training ourselves, talking to ourselves, looking for a way to remove the handcuff, and we do it. So what type of training? And that is why the United Nations Minimum Standard Rules is against the humanization of people that are behind the bar. There should be, because a man has committed an offense, you don't know whether God in his infinite mercy can remold, rebuild, and reform that person. But when you demonize him, you make him to look like an animal in the zoo, and he will behave like an animal. He will reason like an animal. His mindset will not be focusing on change. And that's why the greatest way of reforming is the mindset. You have to look at that person. You have to at least show him some concern, some care, some love. If not for the love of Christ, who came to me right inside the cell. I was in that cell, and that boy brought that book.
What happened?
And I started, I don't want to read it, but when he gave it to me, the stuff of that paper is very soft. So it will be good for wrapping in the eye. So that's why I take it. So you can see. But God has a purpose.
Yes.
Even when all those things are going as if to say that is the end.
Yes.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
Because God has a purpose. So when I wanted to sleep, I was smoking and I couldn't sleep.
You hadn't used this one yet to wrap it in?
No. I kept it because already I have my papers. Yes. But I believe this one will be
very good
extra one that will be used. But it got to a stage that I said, okay, let me read part of it so that I can sleep off.
Yes.
So as I was reading, it was all a story about Moses, how Moses was rescued, how God used him to liberate the Israelites from the Egyptians. So it's all story which you know about while you are even in the school. If you did your BK, you know the story of Moses. But it went a little further. It becomes like a personal discussion. The writer was writing it and he moved into the story of Saul. So I want to see
how he ended up.
And what really challenges me there is that instead of Christ destroying him, because according to the story, the writer said Saul fell down.
Like me, nobody can hate me, I'm blessed.